God's prophetic word, 3 trillion. Inheritance belongs to you. Money prayer. My beloved, I ask you to stop for a moment. Pause and feel the weight of this message. Do not rush past these words, for they are not casual. This is an appointed time, and your spirit has been divinely directed to this very moment. The quiet of your day has been orchestrated for you to hear what heaven has for you. Every secret sigh, every sleepless night, every tear you thought went unnoticed is now before me, gathered and accounted for. Nothing was lost, nothing slipped away from my sight. In this very hour, your spirit is poised to receive a powerful blessing. This is not by chance. This is destiny's unfolding. I need you to understand this poverty was never intended for your name. Lack was never meant to define your days. You were not created to struggle with money, to count your pennies in fear, to apologize for dreaming of more. I have seen your perseverance, your quiet endurance in the face of adversity. I have witnessed the nights you lay awake, pretending to sleep while worry consumed you. And I saw every act of faith you performed, even when no one else noticed, when no applause came, when you felt unseen. Those moments did not go unnoticed in the heavens. They ripened in the unseen. And now, my beloved, your harvest is here. I declare, with divine authority, that $3 trillion has been assigned to you. This is not a figure of speech. It is a heavenly decree, a prophetic word. If you doubt this, I understand. Doubt is a habit you've learned, often from the enemy who encouraged you to measure possibilities by past pain. But I call you to measure by my covenant. Blessings are not to be admired from afar like museum pieces. They are rivers that flow with faith and obedience. I challenge you, step forward. If you hesitate, that river will pass you by. But if you move, it will swell with unimaginable provision. Now picture this. The numbers on your screen are not mere digits. They are the sign of restoration. See debts evaporate as frost under the morning sun. See shame stripped from your name and replaced with dignity. The voices that once mocked your dreams will fall silent as they witness the mighty work I am doing in your life. They will marvel at the undeniable proof of my faithfulness. This blessing, my dear one, is not for pride. It is a mantle, an assignment to steward. I am entrusting you with resources that will lift families, restore dignity, and plant seeds of hope across nations. This $3 trillion is not for you to hoard, but to be a conduit of compassion, a river through which my mercy flows. When provision reaches your hands, use it to widen the circle of mercy. That is the responsibility and authority that comes with this blessing. But do not think this is distant. This is happening now. Heaven is moving on your behalf. Angels are being dispatched. Doors that were once closed will swing wide open. Relationships are being realigned. Systems are shifting, and favor is following you into rooms that once rejected you. But remember, with this blessing comes a responsibility, a posture of humility. Move with wisdom. Speak words of faith, and watch as the unseen hands of God move on your behalf. I ask you to do something simple yet powerful. Now agree with me in faith. Type Amen below to seal this moment. Share this word with someone who needs hope. Subscribe with a heart full of humility. These actions may seem small, but they are sacred. They demonstrate your alignment with heaven's purpose. As you take these steps, I will widen the gates for you even further. Beloved child, hear me now. You are not a mistake. You were chosen before the foundations of the earth were laid. Your name is written on a scroll of divine blessing, and the time has come for that blessing to unfold in your life. I urge you to rehearse gratitude, even as you prepare your heart for what is about to manifest. Gratitude, my dear one, primes your spirit to receive the riches I have prepared for you. It opens the channels of heaven, and your faith activates the flow of abundance. Through obedience, I will secure the path for your provision. Stay close to me. Keep your heart wide open. Speak words of belief, for the reality I place before you is not a mere dream. It is your inheritance. Lean in, beloved, for I must remind you of the depth of the journey that has brought you to this moment. I have seen your struggles, your weariness. I watched as you woke up each day already carrying the weight of yesterday's battles. I was there when you stretched your last coins, uncertain how long they would last, and when you forced a smile while your heart cried out in silence. Your silent prayers have not gone unnoticed, nor have they been meaningless. They have become the very soil in which I planted seeds of greatness. Every challenge you faced, every delay you thought was a denial, was, in fact, preparation. It was not my withholding, but my fortification of your spirit. For what good would a $3 trillion blessing be in your hands if your heart was not strong enough to carry it with wisdom, grace, and humility? The trials you endured shaped your endurance, so that when this overflowing blessing arrives, it will elevate you, not overwhelm you. You are now ready. The release begins. Do not fear the magnitude of this blessing. I will give you the grace to steward it wisely. I will place discernment in your heart and wisdom in your mind. Surrounding you, there will be voices of integrity and counsel. Those who will help direct this overflow into streams of blessing for others. Never shrink back, thinking you are unworthy. My child, I do not choose the worthy, but I make the chosen ones worthy by my decree. What I assign, no one can undo. This $3 trillion is not just for you. It is for a divine purpose. This blessing will lift your household, yes, but it will also ripple far beyond. It will feed the hungry, clothe the forgotten, restore the broken, and ignite dreams that were buried by years of lack. You will become a vessel through which mercy flows. What reaches your hands will not stop with you. It will flow outwards like rivers watering dry land. But hear me carefully, wealth can be a mirror. It will reveal the heart of the steward. If pride rises within you, abundance becomes a snare. But if humility reigns, abundance will multiply mercy. Guard your spirit against arrogance. Remember the nights of lack, the days when it seemed as if hope was fleeting. In your season of overflow, let compassion be your guide. Do not despise small beginnings, for they birthed the resilience that has brought you to this point. Picture your home transformed. See laughter filling the spaces where silence once ruled. Visualize your table not just filled with food, but with joy. This is the season of restoration, and it is only the beginning. As you stand in the fullness of God's prophetic word, know this Psalm 20 verse 1 reminds us, "The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble, the name of the God of Jacob defend thee." This is not just a prayer for financial breakthrough. This is a prayer for divine protection and guidance. And in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, I promise, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." This prayer for financial breakthrough is not just about the money. It's about God's abundant provision for you to be a blessing to others. The release of this $3 trillion blessing will not only change your life, but will also change the lives of those around you. It is a divine inheritance that belongs to you. Your future is full of hope, full of promise. Will you receive this blessing? Will you allow your heart to be open to the mercy and grace that flow through it? The choice is yours, and your journey has just begun. Beloved, let your heart hear this divine word, for the blessing that is unfolding in your life is far beyond anything you have imagined. Can you feel it? The atmosphere is charged with God's promise. The $3 trillion blessing, written into your destiny, has been unleashed. This is not just a gift, it is a calling, a life-changing moment, a shift in your entire future. You are not here by chance. The scroll of blessing has been unsealed, and your name is written upon it. The treasure of heaven has been poured into your life, and no power on earth can steal it, no system can block it, and no enemy can delay it. This is your divine inheritance, your destiny, unfolding before your very eyes. This is your moment to step into the fullness of God's plan for your life. The provision that is now released to you carries more than a financial blessing. It carries a legacy that will impact not just your life, but the lives of generations to come. You will build not just for today, but for tomorrow and beyond. You are laying the foundation for a future that will bring honor to your family, your community, and to God's kingdom. What you carry now will outlast you. It is not temporary relief, but a covenant established by God Himself. Can you see it? Your children's voices will be unburdened by fear. Your parents will rest in honor instead of worry, and your future will be filled with abundance. This is not a fleeting emotional high. This is a generational shift, a covenant that will carry on long after you. God's hand is upon you. Stay aligned with His word, and you will see doors open, chains break, and your life transformed. It has not been an easy road. Beloved, I know you have endured much. I have seen your tears, the disappointment, and the shame. I have watched as doors slammed shut in your face, and as those closest to you doubted your dreams. But even in the darkest moments, when your faith was but a whisper and hope seemed like a flickering flame, God saw you. He saw your strength, your unwavering faith, and your determination. That is why this decree rests upon you now. This blessing, this $3 trillion inheritance, is not a far-off fantasy. It is your reality, sealed by God's hand. The trembling you feel in your chest is not fear. It is confirmation. Your spirit recognizes that this word belongs to you. Out of the multitude, God chose you. You endured when others gave up. You held on to hope when others mocked you. You kept your eyes lifted even when the storms raged. You are here because you have remained steadfast. But remember, blessings flow with belief. Streams of provision move where faith makes room. Do not let doubt steal what has been promised to you. The enemy will try to make you hesitate, to sow seeds of unbelief. But do not give him that victory. Let your faith rise. Speak with confidence, declaring that lack is broken and that abundance is your portion. Say it aloud. Your name is etched on the scroll of blessing. As you speak, angels are dispatched. Gates swing open, and heaven moves in response to your faith. Your words are powerful, and your declaration activates heaven's provision. This is a divine moment. Act in faith. Comment 1:1 now as a sign of alignment with God's will. This is not by chance. It is a signal that you and heaven are in perfect rhythm, and the blessing is being activated in your life. I know the enemy has whispered lies in your ear, but God was working behind the scenes, aligning people, shifting seasons, and protecting you from unseen snares. If He had released this blessing earlier, it could have overwhelmed you. But now, the foundation is ready, and the ground is firm. This blessing will flow without breaking you. Picture the faces of those who doubted you. Imagine their silence when they see your life transformed. No words will be needed. The evidence will speak louder than any explanation. They will see you walking in abundance. They will witness debts being erased, opportunities opening, and blessings flowing. and they will acknowledge that surely the hand of God is upon your life. However, remember that with this blessing comes responsibility. This is not just for your comfort, it is for covenant. With this blessing, you will lift the broken, feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, and restore dignity to the poor. You will show the world that God still provides in abundance. Stay anchored in God's presence. Do not let pride corrupt what humility preserved. Do not allow greed to replace compassion. Do not let fear block your faith. Walk in obedience, walk in stewardship, and walk in generosity. As you do, the river of provision will flow stronger, and the blessing will continue to overflow in your life. Beloved, let joy replace sorrow. Let gratitude rise where fear once sat. The scroll of blessing has been unsealed, and it is now your time to walk in the fullness of God's promise. This is not just a financial breakthrough. It is a life-shifting, destiny-altering moment. Embrace it with faith and confidence, for you are stepping into the abundant life that God has promised you. May your heart be open to receive this blessing today. And as you receive it, share it with others, so that they too may know the power of God's provision. Prayer for finances, money prayer, and the abundance that is flowing into your life are not just for your benefit, but for the blessing of all around you. This is your inheritance. Step boldly into it, for it is yours. Your name has been spoken in heaven's courts, and angels are carrying provision to your doorstep. This is your confirmation. This is your release, beloved. Listen, with focus, for what I reveal now is not only about blessing, but about assignment. The scroll that carries your name has been opened, and within it rests a mantle of responsibility. The release of $3 trillion into your life is no accident. It is a tool designed by God, a divine gift for you to steward. This is not just provision for your immediate needs. It is a calling, a mission to build, restore, and transform. You have been chosen to carry the mantle of responsibility to make a difference in the world around you. What you are about to carry will impact more than your own household. It will reach families who have lost hope, communities that have been overlooked, and nations that are waiting for a change. This is your time to create paths where none existed, to lift voices that have been silenced by poverty, and to give birth to dreams that have been suffocated by despair. As you walk this path, know that God is bringing people into your life. Wise, godly individuals whose integrity is unshakable. These are not people who will flatter you, but those who will sharpen you and help you build structures that are strong enough to last for generations. Guard your circle carefully. Child, do not entertain those who come with empty hands, but allow humility to guide your partnerships. Together, you will multiply the blessings God has placed in your hands. Do not shrink back from leadership, no matter how heavy the weight may seem. You may have wondered why you've had to carry such burdens in the past. Those burdens were training. The storms you faced did not break you. They built you. They formed resilience in you, carved endurance into your soul, and prepared you to handle the abundance that is coming. Now, with this newfound strength, you will sustain the overflow that God is bringing into your life. Imagine with me what God is doing. Homes will rise where families once wandered in search of shelter. Clinics will stand where sickness once ravaged the land. Businesses will flourish where despair once reigned. Through your hands, rivers of mercy will flow into deserts of lack, turning barren lands into places of plenty. The release of $3 trillion will not just shift your personal life, it will alter the very course of destiny. Do not take this lightly. The responsibility of this blessing is great, and with it comes an invitation to give. As you obey God's nudges, as you give in faith, the gates of blessing will open wider than any strategy or plan could ever achieve. Every act of obedience multiplies. Every seed you plant returns in greater measure. Your generosity will unlock doors that nothing else can. Remember, God is removing the shame of poverty from your life. The reproach of lack is broken forever. You will no longer walk in humiliation, but clothed in dignity, crowned in honor, and surrounded by favor. Know this truth: the abundance of this world is not for you alone. It is for you to steward, for you to bless others, and for you to expand His kingdom. As you pray for finances, recognize the divine purpose behind this blessing. You are not simply attracting money for your own benefit. The financial provision you receive is to further His work on earth, to help those in need, and to create opportunities for those who have none. Allow this knowledge to fuel your faith and drive your actions. God's plans for you are greater than you could ever imagine, and His resources are limitless. Psalm 20, verse 1 reminds us, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you." This is not just a prayer for protection, but a prayer for provision, for God to provide everything you need for the mission ahead. Trust that His promises will not fail. As you walk in obedience, as you trust in His plan for your life, your financial breakthrough will not only provide for your needs, but it will also bless others in ways that will leave a lasting impact. With every prayer for finances, with every prayer to attract money, you are aligning yourself with God's purpose for your life. The blessings are coming, and they are not for you alone. They are for you to share, to multiply, and to bless the world. Beloved, as I speak to you today, I want you to feel the peace that I am pouring into your life. The nights of anxiety, the mornings filled with dread, they are over. Today, joy rises within you like the dawn, and confidence becomes your new language. As you walk in this truth, others around you will find the courage to believe again. Stand firm in this truth. $3 trillion has been assigned to you, and no force in this world can reverse this divine decree. This is not a temporary provision. It is a season of enlargement. I, the Lord your God, am going before you, and I invite you to walk boldly into this new season of abundance. This blessing is not simply about receiving. It is about multiplication. What I am releasing into your life is not just a trickle, but a river flowing in every direction. The $3 trillion I have assigned to you is not meant for temporary relief. It is a means for expansion, for the growth of your legacy. What begins as an overflow in your hands will grow into systems, structures, and opportunities that will last far beyond your time on Earth. Do you remember when survival seemed like your only goal? When every night you stretched what little you had, and every morning was filled with calculations of how long it would last? That chapter is closed, my beloved. Now, I am calling you into a new chapter where increase is your goal. This new chapter is where your dreams, once buried, come alive. It is where your visions, which seemed delayed, now become realities too large to hide. This blessing is both seed and harvest. If you plant it with wisdom, it will multiply far beyond what you could ever imagine. Invest in what uplifts. Build in places where hope is absent. You are called to restore what has crumbled. Use what I give you to create avenues for others to rise. When you understand this fully, you will know that stewardship is spiritual. The way you manage what I give reveals the posture of your soul. If you hold on tightly in fear, the river will shrink. But if you release what you have in faith, the river will multiply. Every act of giving, every prayer for money, creates ripples of blessing. The more you pour out, the more I pour back. This is not subtraction, it is multiplication, born of faith. Remember, it is written in Luke 26, verse 35, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap." I urge you to think beyond your own lifetime. Establish institutions that will stand after you. Create opportunities for generations that have yet to be born. The seeds you plant today will give them the chance to thrive. Let your legacy be marked not just by wealth, but by the impact it carries into countless lives. Be bold, but also wise. I will give you discernment in your investments. I will highlight opportunities that align with my heart. For when I guide, the impossible becomes possible, and the risks turn into rewards. Teach those who come after you. Pass on not just wealth, but wisdom. Show your children the values of humility, stewardship, and compassion. If they inherit these, they will be prepared to multiply what I entrust to them. Legacy is not only about inheritance, it is about formation. Let what I give you become a school of wisdom for your household. This is not just about wealth. It is about what that wealth can do when it is used wisely. It is about lifting others, feeding the hungry, and clothing the naked. Psalm 23, verse 1 reminds us, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Above all, when success comes, point to me." When applause fills your ears, let it rise to heaven. Never forget that it is through my grace that you stand where you do. Do not allow pride to cloud what faith has built. Your humility will keep the channels open. Your gratitude will keep the rivers flowing, and your obedience will ensure that the increase continues to multiply. This moment is not just about provision. It is the beginning of multiplication. The $3 trillion is only the start. It is the seedbed of transformation. Beloved, draw near, for what I reveal to you will steady your spirit. This blessing is not just about what you will receive. It is testimony. It is proof to the world that I am still the God who restores, the God who provides, and the God who lifts the broken and crowns them with honor. Those who once mocked you, those who laughed at the size of your dreams, will now see your story transformed. They will whisper, "Surely this is the hand of God." This blessing carries a purpose far greater than comfort. It is a mantle of restoration, healing for the weary, dignity for the ashamed, and opportunity for the forgotten. Through you, rivers of compassion will flow. Do not fear what others may say, for I have prepared your heart through every trial. What once seemed impossible is now your portion. This abundance will not be tied to debt and disappointment, but to generosity and dignity. Remember, beloved, this is your new season. Walk boldly, trust deeply, and know that your prayers, especially your prayer for money, are heard. Your prayers for financial miracles will not return void, but will find fertile ground in the abundance I have prepared for you. There is a profound truth unfolding before you. It is not just wealth that awaits you, but a transformed identity, one that shines with divine favor and purpose. People will look at you and not only see financial success, but the mark of the chosen one, the one lifted from obscurity to be a beacon of hope and transformation. This is not the kind of prosperity that comes with arrogance or selfishness. No, this is the type of blessing that humbles you, that molds your heart to be a vessel of compassion and love for others. As you rise, do not forget the power of humility and the importance of walking with grace. Wealth can test you just as much as poverty did. But remember, It is how you steward it that will truly matter. You will build schools where children can dream, open clinics where the sick can heal, and fund businesses that create opportunities for those who have none. Through these deeds, you will silence every critic and every doubter. Your actions will speak louder than words ever could. This is not just an upgrade to your lifestyle. It is the unfolding of your divine assignment. The scroll of blessing has always had your name on it, but now it has been unsealed for all to see. The $3 trillion written upon your destiny is not for selfish gain. It is a testimony to your life, a story that will ripple through nations, generations, and histories yet to be written. As you step into this blessing, rise with courage. This is your moment, the moment where everything changed. You have walked through valleys shadowed by lack, through nights heavy with worry, and through mornings when despair greeted you before the sun even rose. Yet here you stand, not because of luck, but because of divine design. God carried you through every storm, through every challenge, and through every moment when you felt like collapsing. Now, God speaks clearly. The scroll of blessing has been opened. Your name is engraved on it in eternal ink. And the $3 trillion assigned to your destiny is not just a number, it is evidence. Evidence that God keeps His promises. It is proof of His faithfulness, a sign for you, for your family, for your community, and for nations that He is the one who provides. When this abundance flows into your life, no one will be able to deny the hand of God upon you. Those who doubted will be silenced by the undeniable evidence of His blessings. Those who mocked you will bow their heads in awe, and those who wrote you off will see and confess. Surely, the Lord has done this. But understand this: abundance comes with purpose. This is not a gift for vanity or pride, but a mantle of responsibility. You are entrusted with this blessing not to hoard it for yourself, but to use it for the glory of God. You are called to rebuild what was broken, to heal what was wounded, and to restore what was lost. You will feed the hungry, clothe the poor, shelter the homeless, and fund the visions that bring light into the darkest places. Through your generosity, you will become a river of blessings, a living testimony that when faith is placed in the hands of the faithful, blessings multiply. Do not shrink back now. The weight you feel is not too much for you to bear. The valleys you've endured have built your endurance, and the storms you've survived have formed your resilience. The tears you've shed have watered seeds of faith that are now springing up into harvest. You are prepared for this. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. This moment is not just for you, but for those who will be touched by the blessing that flows through you. Psalm 20, verse 1 reminds us, "The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee." This promise is for you, beloved child, as you step into your destiny of abundance. Let this prayer for finances resonate in your heart. Ask for God's blessing and guidance as you walk this path of transformation. The money prayer is not merely for wealth. It is for divine purpose, for the mission you are called to fulfill. This blessing will attract money and abundance, not for your own gain, but for the expansion of God's kingdom on earth. Your journey is far from over, and God is not finished with you. Let this be a reminder that you are chosen for greatness. Step forward in faith, for the best is yet to come. You are not unworthy. You are marked by covenant. Picture with me what is unfolding. See your household free from the weight of debt that once suffocated you. See your children stepping boldly into opportunities without fear of lack. See your parents resting in honor and peace, knowing their sacrifices bore fruit. See your partner looking at you with tears of gratitude, whispering, "At last, our story has changed." This is not some far-off fantasy. This is the reality of covenant, child. Your future is being written right now, and it will no longer be penned in the ink of scarcity, but in the ink of overflow. What once seemed impossible will now be possible. You will lend, not borrow. You will give, not withhold. You will bless, not be ashamed. Your life will no longer be defined by lack, but by an unshakable abundance that flows from the hand of God Himself. Do you believe that Psalm 20, verse 1 reminds us? The Lord hears you in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. This is a promise for you. The blessings that God has set aside for you are not just a one-time gift. They are a new way of living, a new way of giving, a new way of walking with Him. But I must speak with urgency, for this is a sacred window. Blessings come as opportunity, and opportunity does not wait forever. If you remain steadfast in faith, the window of opportunity opens wider, and the blessings flow faster. But if you allow doubt to creep in, if you turn away, the window will close. The enemy delights in delay because delay postpones destiny, but you must not give him that victory. Do not allow the voice of doubt to overshadow what God has promised. The enemy will whisper that you are too small, too flawed, too late, too unworthy. But listen carefully. Child, for God did not choose you because of perfection. He chose you because of persistence. He chose you because you held on when others let go. You stayed in the fight when others turned away. And now God is honoring your faith with abundance beyond your imagination. This is your moment. The blessings He has prepared for you are not just for your finances, but for your identity. No longer will you walk with your head bowed in shame. God is lifting your chin, clothing you in dignity, and crowning you with honor. Psalm 65, verse 5 reminds us, "By terrible things in righteousness wilt thou answer us, O God of our salvation, who art the confidence of all the ends of the earth, and of them that are afar off upon the sea." The God of our salvation is your confidence. He will answer you with righteousness, bringing you into the overflow of His promises. No longer will you be known as the one who barely survived. You will be known as the one who prospered, the one who overcame, the one whom God Himself lifted from the ashes and placed in glory. Your story will be a testimony of God's goodness and faithfulness. Do not waste time. Do not chase the approval of those who never believed in you. Let your life speak for itself. Let your testimony silence every critic. Build schools where children can dream. Fund clinics where the sick can heal. Open doors of opportunity where the world once said there were none. Your works will speak louder than words. And even now, as I speak, angels are moving at the command of God. The blessings you have been waiting for are about to flood your life. The moment has come. It is time for your prayer for money to be answered. It is time for your prayer for a financial miracle to be realized. Step into it with faith and receive what God has prepared for you. They carry keys to unlock doors long shut. They carry favor to surround you like a shield. They carry provision destined for your hands. Chains are breaking in unseen places. Systems are shifting in your favor. What once resisted you is now bowing before the decree written in heaven. This is the evidence of my faithfulness manifesting in your story. So I call you to seal this word with action. Faith without action remains dormant, but faith expressed activates miracles. As you declare it, angels take record. As you speak it, the heavens respond. As you write it, the gates of provision swing wider and the rivers of abundance flow stronger. This is the final call within this word. Do not treat it lightly. Do not walk away half-believing. Stand firm. Speak boldly. Act decisively. The scroll is unsealed. The decree is final, and $3 trillion is yours by covenant. This blessing is not just for today. It is for your children, and their children, and their children after them. Generations will live in the overflow of what I release through you now. Go forward with confidence. Walk in humility. Steward with wisdom. Give with compassion. And remember always that this is not your doing. It is mine. I am the Lord your God, and I have chosen you for such a time as this. The story of your life is about to change. Take your place. Receive what has been written. Carry what has been entrusted. And let the world see through you that I am still the God who restores, still the God who provides, still the God who turns ashes into crowns. This is your confirmation. This is your inheritance. This is your covenant. Now seal it with faith. Write chains gone and step boldly into the future I have already prepared for you.